Hey everybody, Vadim Lidicious here. Just like a lot of you, I've been spending a lot of time in isolation in 2020. And recently I started to get a little bit into esports, playing video games and competitively against other people. Things like soccer or NBA or NHL. And there's two things that I've learned by playing competitive video games competitively that are applicable to business that I wanted to share with you. Number one is that a lot of players, when they play against me, give up too soon if they're losing in the first half. Say I score a couple of goals on them, and all of a sudden you can see how they're moving slower and how they're not taking this game as seriously. They just don't believe that they can dig themselves out of a hole, and so eventually they just give up and stop playing altogether. It's very applicable to business as well. You see a lot of founders, and I've been thinking about it a lot actually, relating back to my personal experience in the startup field, but you see a lot of founders coming out with exciting idea and they're all ignited to take on the world. And after having a couple of conversations with early potential customers or in potential investors, and getting highly negative feedback, they completely shut off. They don't think that they can pivot or iterate what they're working on, and so they eventually give up. This is just my number one observation that I've actually seen a lot in 2020, and it was further reinforced with me playing esports competitively. The other thing that I've been noticing a lot, playing soccer, was just how cocky some players get when they're winning in the first half. So for example, they'll be leading 2-0 or 3-0 in the halftime, and they pretty much assume that they have a game in the bag, only to let me come right back and smack the living shit out of them and walk away winning in the final minutes. You actually see a lot of that in real life too. You can just Google, massive biggest turnarounds in sports history or biggest comeback stories in professional sports. It's pretty often for teams to lose in the very, very final moment simply because they lose focus and they pretty much think that they won the game ahead of the time. I wanted to draw the parallel here because it's actually very common in business as well. You see companies that rise to the top by innovating, only to stop innovating when they get there and the competition becomes pretty thin. Just look at companies like IBM or Nokia or General Electric. All these were powerhouse companies in the first half, yet they completely stopped innovating for a lack of need and ended up losing the game in the second half to companies like Amazon and Apple and Google and Microsoft. So these are just two observations. I hope this helps you in some way, and I wish every one of you an amazing 2021. See you soon.